Hey guys, welcome to another video. Mindspill here, and today's video I just wanted to talk about something that I noticed, and I haven't talked about the dreams and things like that in a little minute, so I just thought I'd talk about this. Sometimes when I go to sleep, and I go to sleep like everybody else, regular when I get tired, and I just lay down, you know, go to sleep. But then I noticed that sometimes I'll have certain type of dreams. I have very vivid dreams where it feels like I'm actively participating in the dream or I'm actively in control of the dreams. And I see different things online talking about when you experience things like that, that's kind of called lucid dreaming and different things like that. But in these dreams, I'll be so aware of the dreams to the point where it's like I'm actively involved in the dream. And it goes on for however long it goes on while I'm asleep. But then when I wake up, it just feels like I didn't get no rest. Like I still wake up very tired, bro. Like sometimes I go to sleep and I wake up and I start feeling pains on my leg. I start feeling very like uneasy, like I'm waiting for something to come back. So having experienced that multiple times, me being very, very inquisitive, I had to do a little research and I got to find out that when things like that happen, that's kind of like traveling into the astral plane, astral projections and out of body experiences, things like that. But then these things happen unconsciously when I don't even plan for it to happen, bro. I just get tired, maybe want to take a nap. I take a nap and it might be like a 30 minutes or hour nap, and I wake up feeling very, very drained before I even went to sleep. So it just made me wonder a lot about why certain things happen. Like I had started doing research just to find out why, and I got to find out that that is the soul actually roaming. They call it out of body experiences, they call it astral projection, but then it's just like the soul roaming, trying to get answers for specific things. Because when I have wild vivid dreams, bro, sometimes I see people I know. Sometimes I see people I didn't even, have close connections with. Sometimes I just see random things, bro. So I know that for the most part, I always, see people that I know or I've met at some point in my previous life. I mean like years ago. I don't mean like previous life, but I just mean like years ago. See these people in my dreams, and it's kind of hard to place meanings to them because I never had no solid relationship with some of these people, bro. I just randomly, acquaintances and shit like that. I just say what's up or whatever, bro. But the fact that I'm seeing them in my dreams recently, bro, not even like as of recent, I've been seeing so many familiar faces in my dreams. But then when I see people I never even had a connection with in the dream, it just makes me wonder why. Like, did they really play a key factor in my life? Because in the physical world, they never played any like key factor. I just knew them based off our environment or the circumstances we was in at that time. But then having to see them in my dreams, because I like to associate different people I see in my dreams to specific incidents or truths I need to learn. When I see people that I was friends with in the past in my dreams, I know there's a reason for me seeing them, because what they represented in my real life, I know I could easily pinpoint that. When I see celebrities in my dreams, I can easily just say, okay, the reason why I'm seeing this person is not necessarily for that person, but the status of the person. I just know that, okay, celebrity has to do with, worldwide recognitions. And I just like to attach different meanings to different things that happen in the dream, because that's the only way I could choose to understand it. But then when I see people that I don't even resonate with, or they never played a key factor in me getting to this point, it just makes me wonder, like, what's the point of these dreams? Sometimes it's easier to just, play it off like, yeah, it was just a random dream. But then when I remember it, the fact that I keep remembering these dreams, that's why I always try to decode it and try to see what lesson or what messages I'm trying to get from that specific dream. And it's been happening a lot for a little minute. Sometimes it happens back to back, and I just have consecutive dreams that all shed lights on different aspects of where I'm at. But then sometimes I just have random dreams that don't even make sense, even as much as I try to put it together, it never makes sense. So it's just one of these things, like, we don't really know how wide and be, I don't know the exact word, but we don't even know how magnificent, the world is today, because we might think we're just operating from our daily lives. Bob Proctor said, human beings were spiritual beings as well. So that's common knowledge. So the fact that we're spiritual beings and we have these encounters when we go to sleep, it just shows you sleep is deeper than what it really is. And I'm not trying to come off as one of those woke dudes online that's always trying to make everything seem deeper than what it is. But the fact that sleep is the gateway, some people have dreams where they can prophesize the future. Some people have very, very, pointless dreams, but then it's always relating to their circumstances. So the fact that we get messages from the sleep state, which is the spiritual realm, it just says a lot about being in tune and paying attention to these things. If you're not in tune or you choose not to, resonate with topics like that, you would never, you would always think whatever messages or whatever experiences you have while sleeping or while just meditating or whatever is just random. But then when you're deeply in tune, and you know that everything is a message, we're always being communicated with. Even our intuitions is always communicating with us, because we're we were told we're made in the image of God. So the only way God can actually guide us is through our intuition. That's him speaking to us, because mobile phones, we have internal GPS, we have satellite GPS on our phones that can be used to track the phones or to help us move when we're trying to get to a specific destination. It's kind of the same. Those intuition, those reflexes, our dreams and things like that, they are pointing us in the direction we need to head in. But then you got to know how to pay attention to these things, and be locked in and know that, yes, these are ways and mediums for which you can use to receive clarity on certain decisions we're trying to make in real life. Because we're not just here abandoned alone. We're always protected. Everybody's protected. Everybody's in alignment with whatever path they want to take. It's just about listening to your intuition and just paying attention to those little nudges that's actually guiding us in the direction we need to be in. Personally, I make some rash decisions sometimes, but then I know when I make those decisions, it might not be good for my circumstances at that point, but then over time, I always have some sort of peace of mind or clarity from making the decision. Although it doesn't make sense at that instant, over time, it always plays out over time. I always get to see why I made certain decisions over time. So that's why right now I'm directly just in flow. I'm just going with the flow of situations. If my intuition tells me do this, I always do it, because that's the only thing that has gotten me to this point where I'm able to actually communicate and put this message out there in case anybody else just is a very, very deep thinker like me. Once you start to think a lot about life and things like that, you start to detach and see things from your own perspective. You start creating your truth, and you start resonating with whatever truth your intuition gives you, and you detach from the external world, and you can always see things for what it really is. The mind games, the programming, the conditioning, you can always see through it once you just detach and listen to your intuition more. So if you feel like you're always overthinking situations, trying to get to the bottom of every aspect or whatever, bro, just know you're a deep thinker, man. And I encourage you to keep it up, and just know that there's a lot of us like that out here, bro. We're just trying to make sense of our situation and just be the best versions of ourselves and live a very fulfilled life. So yeah, thank you guys for always, just rocking with me still, man. I appreciate y'all. Everybody that's just watching for the first time, Mind Spill, and I always talk about, woke topics like this. So yeah,